Holly, aka Scoring the Barber, and I'm here with my good friend Anthony. It is Marc-Anthony Experience on Instagram. He's also got a YouTube channel. Guys, you've got to subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's amazing. He does a lot of very similar to my vibe. He wants positivity. He wants to help people grow, finances. Also, he is an amazing barber. He does tutorials. Guys, super humble, very relatable, no ego whatsoever, very humble. Yeah, check him out. So I wanted to get into how we met. So I was thinking about it today, and I know when I asked you, I ran into you at the Heart Ball, and I was like, oh, you got to be on my YouTube channel. And you're like, yes. And I was so excited that you said yes. And one of the things that we talked about when we were there, and I'm like, I got to figure out when I met you, because I couldn't really figure all that out. And I knew it was right before COVID. And I remember that Minnie was like, I knew I wanted to get into barbering. Minnie's like, come to In the Cut. Come to In the Cut. Just come and sit down. And that was so intimidating, because I've been following In the Cut for a year. I mean, it was In the Cut. It's one of the few barbershops we had then. Before Chattanooga just exploded.
It popped.
Yeah, it popped. And, I was just like, man, these guys are good. These guys are good. No way that guy just got out of school. And it was just watching him grow. And I was like, I got to get in there. But it was intimidating being a cosmetologist. They're like, what is this girl doing? And, I'm a female too. So it's like, what is this girl doing in here? And May's like, no, just come in. It's all like that. Just come in. My boss won't care. My boss won't care. And I came in and I met Pipo. And then you were in the corner and you were still in hair school. And Pipo was helping you out. Showing you a tutorial or I don't know what was going on, but I remember his patience and his kindness and the amount of respect that he showed towards you made me feel comfortable. And everyone in that shop was so nice, came up to meet me, and just the amount of respect was just phenomenal. And then after that, you're like, I followed you, and I was like, this kid's in school. This kid's in school? There's no way.
Oh, man.
His blends are so clean, and you're just it's still in hair school. So I think you've definitely had the talent from the get-go, and this is which is so unfair, because it's something I've had to work on so hard, and I feel like it just came to you so naturally. You definitely have the gift. But I wanted to get into the interview, and because I don't even know any how you got started, how many years technically, if you were cutting hair before hair school, if you're from Chattanooga or you're not. So I guess we'll start by are you from Chattanooga?
So I'm originally from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So I'm born and raised there. It's about 30 minutes north of Miami, down in South Florida. So I'm a Floridian through and through, not from Chattanooga, not born and raised here. My mother is from Jamaica. My dad is from Haiti, so I'm full Caribbean. So I speak multiple languages. I speak Patois, I speak Creole, I speak English. So very, very South Floridian Caribbean. I moved up here actually 11 years ago to do my undergrad up here. So I did my bachelor's degree at Southern Adventist University down in Collegedale. Graduated from there, did my undergrad actually in pastoral education. So I'm actually a pastor trained before I did barbering. So I had a whole pastoral career for 5-6 years. So when I went to go start shadowing it in the cut, I was the pastor before I was the barber. And during that, I know it's so crazy, right? It's so crazy.
Those boys.
Yeah, I was I was one of the rowdiest ones in the group.
Yeah.
So I graduate, I'm pastoring. In the middle of that, I ended up having my daughter at that time.
Okay.
So then as her mom got pregnant, I kind of take a step away from ministry for a little bit of time, and I had to figure out what am I going to do with my life. I was working in logistics at Covenant Transport at that time. I went to a hair show in Atlanta, met Chris Basio 2018, spent my last $50, drove to Atlanta, went to sit there, look and learn. This dude's doing a crop top with texture, with the powder. I was I don't know what the hell this dude is doing right now. I was just some random dude in a room full of barbers in a space I had no business being in. And it was when I was there that Basio was talking about his life story at the end of the cut. He was saying, yeah, man, I was 25 years old. I was having my first kid. I was working at Arby's. That's when I went to barber school. And I was 25 at the time, about to have my first kid. And I was I connected, That was the first time I connected with a real barber in the industry. And I was if he can do it, I can do it. You know, and I pulled him to the side afterwards. I was like, Bossy, let me ask you a question. I was like, do you really believe what you said? Like, or are you just like blowing smoke up our butt? He was like, nah, I'm serious. He said, think about it like this. If you start now, a year from now, you'll be a year closer to finishing. He said, there's no perfect time to start. You just got to get going. And he said, but if you don't start now, a year from now, you could have been a year closer to finishing. And that logic, it clicked. You know, came back to Chattanooga. And then I still wasn't too sure about that yet. Like I said, I was still like in and out of barbershops at the time, kind of like shadowing and stuff. My daughter was about to be born. She was born. I took a good break off of like haircuts and stuff. And then actually Martin came by my home, like my apartment at the time, and he pulled me to the side and he was like, dude, you got a barbershop in your apartment. You're cutting hair all the time. Yeah. Go to school. He was like, it's time. Like, you need to go to school. And I was like, nah, bro, I don't want to do it. Like, I'm cool here at the crib. Like, that's not for me. It's for you guys. And he was like, no, you need to go to school. Like, clearly you have a passion for it. So I went to Chat State to apply there, registered. They had this long waiting list. And I'll never forget, I'm in the office, and the guidance counselor is like, you're too excited for this. Like, you want this too much. Like, we have a waiting list. Come back in August. It's January 2019. I'm like, I got to start now. Like, I met Bossio a couple weeks ago. Martin came to my house. All these things are happening in my life. And I'm like, I'm thinking it's staging for me to get started. Mm-hmm. And then Chat State closes the door for me. They're like, we're full. Come back August, September, October. And I'm like, damn, I got to wait 8 months for this? 9 months? All right, something's got to give. Martin comes back. And I tell him to follow up. And he's like, why don't you just go do cosmetology? I was like, cosmetology? I was like, man, I'm a dude. Like, I want to cut hair. I want to be a barber. And he's like, all your favorite barbers are cosmetologists. And I was like, there's no way. And he went down the list of all my favorite barbers. And all of them got their license in cosmetology. He said, in Tennessee, you can practice on both sides with the license. Mm-hmm. And I had to sit in that, you know, because I had no excuses at that time. I went from there. I went to Alternative Vision. Did my first free week. Met Darlene and all the girls. And I just got hooked. You know, I did my first week, and it's been a wrap since, you know. So now I've been licensed for about 2 years now, professionally. I started doing hair 10 years ago, actually. It's crazy. I have my flyer when I was in undergrad, 2013. This was my flyer in my dorm room. I was cutting hair. So this was like 2013, the first barbershop. We were doing like $7 haircuts, $10 fades. I had 3 barbers working in my dorm room under me. I was the lead barber.
You were kidding.
I swear. Like, but the thing was, like, I never saw barbering as something that I was going to do. It was just a hobby, something I did on the side. Oh, yeah. I've been doing this. It's new to people now who are just meeting me.
Dude, in the cross. I
was the pastor, right? So it makes sense when you see this flyer. You know, so I keep this flyer just as a reminder of, like, this is where you started, bro. Like, really, there were flyers before. My first flyer really was like a Microsoft Word printout, free haircuts. Like, did that for like 2-3 years until I started getting able to charge.
You accepted credit and debit. What? That was high class.
Yeah, this was like 2014, 2015. I already had barbers under me, working under me, had a barbershop in my dorm room. You had barber chairs
in your dorm room?
In my dorm room. Yeah, I had
Stop.
Yes, I did that in my dorm room. This is like sophomore,
No.
junior year of college. Yeah,
did they like commit? Did you commission them out? Like,
no, I just had everybody just they kept all the commission that they made, all their income, and I just let them have it. It was just a vibe for us. It was just like the spot in the school. You know, if you want a haircut, you got to come to their dorm room. You got to come to the barbershop. So we had like that one spot that was like the barbershop in the dorm. So every weekend before people went out, they all flood the bars, like 15-20 dudes. So like we just been there 4 or 5 barbers in there cutting up all weekend, you know, hanging out. So that was like my first experience of like barbershop vibes, you know. And I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, wow. This is real.
You had to think that you were just straight up like balling.
Oh,
like, yeah. You're like, I'm making so much money. Like, $7 haircut.
I mean, by the time I did 5 haircuts, you know, it's about $35 at the end of 5 haircuts. And then we go to Taco Bell. That's like $12. And then we go catch a movie. That's another $15. But I'm broke by Saturday night, you know? Like, this money didn't last long.
Yeah.
But I wasn't, like, financially savvy at that point. Like, if I could go back then, I would have kept those guys and everybody else of all the guys I went to school with, I'm the only one that got licensed. I'm the only one that's still cutting hair now full time. I'm the only one that owns his own business now. Like everyone else does something else. And I was the pastor. I wasn't the barber. Like barbering was just something I did on the side. Like it was just a fun hobby. But I would say like I never chose barbering. Barbering chose me. Like it grabbed me in a season when life was kind of falling apart, and I just kind of been doing it ever since.
But, one thing that's so unique about our job, and, I posted a video about this and got, before my YouTube channel, I had one video that I posted of me just crappy, phone. I don't even have an iPhone. I have a freaking Droid.
Mm-hmm.
I did in there, and I just got super emotional because, just the impact that we have on other people and how they tell us, how much, we mean to them,
mm-hmm.
and all I do is cut your hair. And, I really feel like, I'm spiritual, and
mm-hmm.
I'm a Christian follower of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that, God totally intended for you to be a pastor, but there's different ways that you can pastor.
Mm-hmm.
And you touch people. I mean, people ask us, real serious mm-hmm. advice, and I'm like, you're asking me?
Mm-hmm.
And, you're going to be able to touch them. We're in one of the few professions where it's okay to touch people.
Mm-hmm.
You make them feel better about themselves. You talk about, how deep conversations
mm-hmm.
can go, hardship, job losses.
Mm-hmm.
The economy is stressful right now. And you can speak truth into their lives. You don't even have to mention God. You just have to walk.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to do the walk, and people will see it. So I definitely think that, you're still a pastor. You just don't have the label. Churches where there are, what is it, 2 or more?
Mm-hmm. 2 or more.
Two or more? Right here. This is church. We're in church. Church is your community. So, yeah, it's definitely a form of ministry. So I think that's really cool. I had no idea you're a pastor. I'm learning so much. This is, wow. And you had a barbershop in your dorm room. Stop.
My dorm room, yep.
I love this. So when we sat down and my husband was setting up, I noticed on the wall there was a ton of writing. Tell us about that, because I asked about it and you told us.
Oh man, so most of the things that happen for me are not planned. I don't plan most of this. I'm just do what it's led. So I remodeled the studio probably about 6 months ago. It was super cramped in here. Threw everything out and just started over again. I put a new mirror up on the wall, and when I put this new mirror up, there was just a lot of negative white space on the wall. So me, my wife, my kids, we signed a few things on the wall, and then my clients started coming in, and they just started writing encouraging notes on the wall. So now my whole wall is filled of oh, you're the greatest. Oh, we believe you. Don't give up when it gets hard. Keep pushing through adversity. And then they started then they all found out what I did in my back. Then they just started dropping Bible verses like crazy. Then it became a spiritual wall of encouragement. So then when I look up now, every day I have even though I don't see them every day, I still have the encouragement from them to keep me going every day. So that's that's a personal memento for me, moving forward in my career.
That's awesome. Yeah, if you don't know Anthony, you need to, like I said, please follow and subscribe to his YouTube channel. This guy's all good vibes, and you can feel the energy, and you can feel the peace in this room, even though this is a really small room. I can really tell that God is going to do so much with your life, and you feel that when you're around you, and I think you're going to impact a lot of lives, and I'm really excited to see what this guy does. Especially too, I met your wife at the Heart Ball, and you when you meet people, we meet so many people every day, you kind of get to the point where you can kind of read people and their energy, and she was so sweet, and you can tell that she is so encouraging of your career and your walk and your path, and that is so important to have a partner like that. My husband's here filming at 8 o'clock at night, and she's cool with you being here at God knows what time it is now, but yeah, it's getting late. But to have partners that are walking with you through this journey is so important. And it's just, he's good people, his wife's good people, they're good family. You you've got to follow. You got to give this guy some love.
Follow us, man. We got a lot going on.
Yes, but so now you are, and I forgot to say this, we are in his suite at the Phoenix Suites on Gun Barrel, Tennessee. What's the address?
It's 2020 Gun Barrel Road. It's right beside the Walmart, right off of Gun Barrel, next door to Five Guys. You can't miss us.
Can't miss Five Guys.
Salon. You can't miss Five Guys. So we're next door to Five Guys.
Pick up your fries, get your burger,
get your cuts.
Yes.
You're good.
Make sure you bring your Barber a burger because we don't eat.
Yeah, no. We honestly we eat at the end of the day. You know, I just saw videos today where a guy was saying like, if you don't take time to eat, you don't value yourself enough. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stop and get some food tonight like that. Just eating, filling my body, that matters every single day.
Oh, 100%. I think it's funny, too, is like, I know I'm getting a little bit off topic, and we'll kind of circle back, but anytime we go out to eat, I'm always the first one to finish their food, and I'm, like, ready to go. My husband's, like, taking 2 bites out of his burger, and I've, like, inhaled my whole thing, and it's like, I don't even know how to slow down. I've just learned to master and eat a meal in literally under a minute because I'm so behind, and I don't want to get behind. It's like, I just eat so I can keep going.
Yeah, and we eat to survive, not to enjoy the food. And
it's definitely, I think, we've mastered at it that whether you're a barber or a stylist, you've learned to master a 1-minute meal.
Yeah, I've even heard as far as people say, like, if you take lunch breaks, you're a lazy barber.
No.
I've heard that. Like, if you take lunch breaks, if you take breaks in your day, like, you could have made money in that hour. You could have made money in that 30 minutes. And for me, I'm like, or I could die, at some point. Like, you gotta take care of yourself at some point and really make sure you're good.
Oh, 100%. One thing, like, too, like, how did you get to here? How did you get to this suite? Why the suite? Like, why the suite?
Oh, man.
Because I will be honest, I'm kind of anti solo suites, but I'm open. I'm open ears. Why? Because you just have such goodness. Why are you not with another group of people? And I know there's a good reason. There's
a very good reason. So, pandemic hit a few years ago, and I was working in the cut at that time, got licensed at the end of the year, and I felt like at that point, 2020, I was ready to grow. Like, I started getting involved in the industry. I started meeting industry leaders. I started seeing where the industry is headed. And I started to see a different vision for my career than I felt like I was getting at that time. Working in a shop is not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing for your career. If you're starting off, go work in a busy shop. Go get your reps up. Go get your clientele up. But opportunity came for me to go work downtown. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely taking that. Downtown has athletes, downtown has university, downtown has lots of money down there, and I wanted to take the challenge. And could I really do what I did there a second time? So I always I take these crazy challenges like almost every year. So I moved downtown. I go link up with CT down there, and I just literally that move was like ground zero for me. Because majority of my clients didn't come with me. I probably only brought maybe 10% of my clients downtown. So I really started from zero again when I went down there, and it was a challenge of my life. And I was like, okay, can you really do? I felt like working in a busy shop, from my perspective, made me a very lazy barber. It really did. They have lots of walk-ins. They have lots of clientele. They feed you a lot of money, but you don't know how to build a clientele for yourself. You don't have any interpersonal skills. You don't know how to go and build relationships and network and to create a platform and market yourself and put yourself on a pedestal where you can stand on your own anywhere in the country. And that was a challenge I wanted. I was like, I don't want a shop to make me. I want to be able to make a shop. I want to be able to bring what I have to bring to the shop. So going downtown was just another challenge for me. I wanted to grow a little bit more. And we crushed it. We crushed it so hard down there that I felt like we got so far ahead that I kind of started to fall asleep. I kind of started to get numb to it. We're cutting so many heads, lots of walk-ins. I ended up cutting lots of the athletes downtown. I got into the collegiate scene. And I just felt like I was just doing so much. But even at that height of we won BEC Best Barbershop of the Year, first year in, it was just accolade after accolade after accolade, and I was just like, I'm lazy. I'm still lazy, because I felt like I kept finding myself building my career on the backs of other people's hard work and success,
Do you feel like that's Yes, I agree with that. But, and I get what you're saying with that. But do you feel like it's not laziness? Do you feel like barbers feel the need that they need to cut? And I'm not saying this is wrong. And it's not for everyone. So anything that I say, I'm not saying is right or wrong.
No, you're good. You're good.
But I cut an hour to 45 minutes. But I've adjusted my process not to gouge my clients, but to give them the quality and the best that I could give them. And I needed this time frame to do it. And I wanted that time frame, because if you take that time frame away from me, like you said, I get lazy. My work isn't clean. So, I miss spots. I'll have the fade isn't as clean.
So when I say lazy, I don't mean like lazy behind the chair. I mean lazy as far as like, I'm always gonna give if the clippers are on, it's 120 with me, you know. But it felt as far as like marketing, building clientele, creating a brand for yourself, establishing yourself. There were only so far I could build my brand underneath someone else's brand. I felt like personally, you know, at the end of the day, it was still gonna be in the cut, you know, like there was a ceiling that I could hit there, you know, at some point. Like, I'm not the owner, it's not my business, like I'm not gonna take over someone else's business. They put the hard work into there, but I can still build under that. Okay, then shop 2 was like, okay, I'm still working, I'm still building, but at the end of the day, it was this like ceiling I felt like I kept hitting. Like, as big as you get, as much as you grow, as much as you do, it's never really yours, you know. Like, you're working in it, but it's someone else's that they allowed you to be a part of, which is a part of the game, you know. But for myself, I just saw bigger, you know. I was like, if I can manage, so first shop I worked in, just a barber. Second shop I managed, you know, there every day, open, close, clients, you name it, interviewed, all this. And I'm like, while I was there managing a shop, I was like, dude, you manage a whole barbershop. You understand the payroll, you understand the finances, you understand the employees, you interview, you open the doors, you shut the doors, you clean the shop, you manage shop. Your clients think this is your shop. Why don't you just open up a shop? You have all the intangibles. You're already doing it for someone else. Why not do it and build a legacy for yourself? Why not build something for your family? Why not build something that like your generations to come can have something? Because that's what they're doing. You know, that first shop, second shop, that's all things that their kids and their kids' kids will have. And I was like, what do my kids have? What is my family gonna have? Like, what's my name gonna be standing on when I die at the end of my life? Is it only gonna be that I've worked under people, or is it gonna be that I actually took a risk and bet on myself? And at the height of my success, I felt like when things were rocking, I was like, nah, I want more. And I just completely like jumped ship and I came here. So here was not like, I didn't feel like I was lazy, like my haircuts were getting bad. I feel like I was lazy in a sense of I never wanted to lose that hunger for success and like greater and striving for more, because one of the things I saw was like, if Paul Mitchell can do it, why can't Marc-Anthony do it? Like
100%.
What's the difference? You know, what's the difference? Paul Mitchell, 2 guys, Marc-Anthony, 1 guy, 2, like what's the difference? Why can I not be great? Like, why can I not be as big as Bronner Brothers? Like, why can I not be as big as Orlando Prince? Like, why can I not be that big? And I felt like no one else saw that. I saw that for myself. My clients saw it because I talked to them about it. But there was just this imaginary ceiling everywhere I worked that I was like, the only way I'm going to truly unlock my potential is I have to go solo. You know, so I didn't want to come to a studio. I honestly wanted to open up a barbershop, get barbers, be lit, have a vibe. But financially at the time, like, this is the most reasonable thing for me. So I moved to a studio, and I feel like it was the best decision for my career.
Yeah.
Best.
Well, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, he's gonna, because you know you were getting pretty heavy into YouTube during that time, and I was like, okay, he's wanting to film, he's wanting to get into his content. Like, I see where he's going. Like, I kind of felt like you were going more towards like the mentorship and the education route. And, you know, I could totally see how that would be easier to film when it's one-on-one, especially when you see a lot of these YouTubers, they end up in a small space because it's kind of like, I would love to do like a video where I'm talking to my client and you hear our conversation and do a video like that. But when you've got a whole shop full of people and hair dryers and you know, it is small and intimate. It's not like a really loud shop, but it's a high ceilings, hardwood floors, like it echoes, and the quality, you just wouldn't be able to hear it. So I definitely think that you benefit with that. But like I said, I'm excited to see you grow, and you definitely like opened my eyes a little bit more to the sweets. Like I said, I'm all open ears.
Oh yeah, listen, just know, like I said, I knew ultimately I wanted full control of my environment. I wanted full control of my business. I wanted full control of the autonomy to scale and grow. Yeah. You know, there was only You can only manage someone's shop for so long. You can only build another person's business. And at the end of the day, like the daunting thing for me was like, this isn't yours. You know, like something about that, like it just rubbed me the wrong way to know, like, you put in all these hours, all this time, all this hard work. You come in 6 a.m., you leave 10 p.m. You're doing all this for, how I heard someone say like this. They said, every day you wake up, you're going to do one of two things. You're either going to be building your dream or you'll be building someone else's dream. And when I heard that, I said, every day I'm waking up right now, I'm building someone else. I didn't put the money up for the building. I didn't put the brand together. I didn't put the chairs in the shop. I had a hard realization, like, I didn't do any of that. The only way that I could really know if I have what it takes, I got to do it myself. You know, they did it. You know, I have models, I have mentors, I have examples. I've been around it for so long, so who's to say that I couldn't do it too? So it's like, I felt damned if I do, damned if I don't. Like, I stay, I hit a ceiling. I move, I fail, who cares, you know? But I'll never know internally unless I actually try. So instead of building another person's dream every day, I wake up every day now and I build my own dream. I build the life that I want. I build the career that I want. I build the lifestyle that I want. I build the freedom that I want. You know, it's not about, I don't got to ask nobody if I can leave work. I don't got to check in with nobody. It's what do I want for myself? And it was the best thing for me because I learned financial literacy. I understand how to run a business. Everything I wanted out of this industry is like at the tip of my fingers now. And I'm like, okay, now I got access. You know, like, I like I said, little stuff like YouTube and videoing. Like, I've been doing this since like 2019, you know, but certain environments are not always conducive to certain like things you want to do. Even like certain services, like I change even my services I do. You know, I do a lot of like full service grooming, like with the hot towels, the facials, the beard treatments, the scalp treatments, you know, say the cuts, the washes, like. And I wasn't finding a shop that I could work at that was doing that. You know, I felt like everywhere I worked, it was like a haircut factory, you know, like get in, get cut, get out, get in, get out. And I wanted to like really take care of my clients on another level. And there really wasn't a place to do that. It was like either you get with our program or you go find somewhere else to work. And it's like, I got bills to pay, you know what I mean? Like I have a daughter, you know what I mean? I have a life. Like I don't want to do this, but the vision that I kept seeing, and it just kept popping back up. And at some point I realized, you know, like you said, like, I believe that when God gives you a vision, it's your vision. No one else saw it. No one else will understand it. No one else will visualize and understand how real it is. So since I saw it, I was like, I got to do it. You know, like regardless if everyone supports me or not, like regardless if I look crazy to the outside world, like I saw it, I'm going to do it. And I had to build some confidence and jump. Because like I moved here with nothing. I was doing $7 haircuts in my dorm 10 years ago. Like I've already been to the bottom. You know what I mean? A lot of people, I feel like, in their journey at some point they have like some come up or like, you know, somebody helped them or like they had like a push, you know. But for me, I felt like a lot of it was like you say like I had the gift. Nah, I've been doing this like 10 years. Like I've been grinding for a long time. People are just now seeing the hard work that I put in 2012, 2013 up to 2023 now. So it's been a long time I've been practicing. But when I finally got serious, that's when I really locked in and really like got serious about what I wanted to do. So it's like I feel like I don't have any other options. Like I really don't. Like failure is not an option. Success is like inevitable. It just depends on how much work I'm gonna put in to get there, you know. So you know, I fight for that. You know what I mean? Like I get to come to work every day and see that. You know, and that's something that I built. That's something that I put on the ground, and that's something that is gonna be bigger than me. And I do hope one day to invite other people, you know, to build a collective, build a team, like to go like really conquer the world.
I think you need to say one day you are gonna do that. Not I hope one day. I'm not. But I just, man, I have chills, and I know you guys do too, and I think a lot of that just like hits home too in a lot of ways for me. But I'm gonna wrap it up. I know that we're running a little bit long, but I just want to thank you so much for like meeting with me. And guys, please like, subscribe, Marc-Anthony Experience, YouTube, Instagram. Hit them up and like and subscribe this video. Comments if you have questions, all that jazz. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Let's get it.